Welcome everybody to the 32nd episode of the Advanced Dungeons and Dynamics 365 Barebones Configuration live stream. In this live stream, what we're doing is we're setting up Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations, not CE, from the ground up, starting from a completely based system and getting the Waterdeep trading company up and running with financial. Let's just fix that. So we're going out and we're setting this up. Let me just get that on the right thing. We're setting up all the financials, and then we'll go into the supply chain management. And when we run out of topics there, then we'll set up like HR and projects and all of the other areas as well, based off the barebones configuration guides. So what we've been doing up until this point is we've been working through the accounts receivable area. So we've been setting up all the customers and the agings and all the configurations. And over the past couple of episodes, we've gone out and we've created invoices. We've received payments from the invoices. We've updated the aging balances, and we've set up the collections. Now, what we're going to do today, and maybe over the next two sessions, because I'm trying to keep this to a short area, is we're going to go out and set up deduction management, which is really the final part of the accounts receivable area for the basic setup. And this isn't really a basic feature, but for one reason or another, I actually went out and I documented this, and so we can go out and set this up. Now, what the deduction management does is if a customer goes out and short pays you, so for example, if you've got an invoice for $1,000 and they only pay you, or let's say 100 gold pieces, and they only give you 90 gold pieces, and they say that you were late, so we're taking a deduction and penalizing you for that for the 10 gold pieces, then what we want to do is we want to record that 10 gold pieces as a deduction by the customer. And then we go through a whole process of looking at that deduction and working out whether it's valid. So whether they just made that up, whether we were late, whether we honor that deduction, whether this is a promotion that's been associated with the customer, and a whole slew of things. So we received in before we received in our invoices complete and in full, so everything got wiped out. In this case, we want to create our deduction journal to manage that. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going out and setting that up, and what we're going to be using the lab environment that we've got here for Dynamics, and we're going to set up the deduction management. So we don't have a lot of this configuration done yet, and there's some work that we need to do. And what we're going to do is we're going to follow the instructions that I've got in the barebones configuration guides, and really play test this setup, where we're going out and we're going to create the deduction journals. We're going to go out and modify the trade allowance parameters so that we can manage that, create our deduction types, our denial reason codes, and our write-off codes, and then go out and actually work through this and receive a payment with a deduction, and then use a new feature, a new feature that we haven't looked at so far, which is a deduction workbench to manage that. So just keep in mind, if you all want to go through and play along with us and set up your own company within Faerûn, or say, for example, if you wanted to change everything completely and then do space trading or caveman economies, which is another sort of area, then you can do this. You can get this and you can set up your environment and you can run through this. So what we're going to do is we're going to move through and we're going to start working through the deduction management, just as you would through the barebones configuration guides. And the first step is we need to create a deduction journal, and the deduction journal is what we're going to use to track what the customer deducts from the system. So let's go out and do that. And this is going to be a a new ledger journal. So what we're going to do is there we go, back here. So we've already set up a number of these already. And what we need to do is we need to go to the general ledger and we need to go to the journal setup. So if we're going through the main menus, then we can go to general ledger and we can go to journal names and get to the same area. So now you can see that we've created some transactions here already. So what we've done is we've created our allocations, we've created our customer payments, but we don't have a deduction journal. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new journal here. And we're going to, let's see. So we're going to, let me spell that right, and this is going to be a journal. And the type of this is actually, I think it's just going to be a general daily journal. So we're not going to select any of the other transactions here. So I don't have any notes associated with that. Now, also what we want to do is we need to have a voucher that's a number sequence that's associated with this. So we don't want to reuse the number sequences that we've got already. So we're going to go out and create this. And we've created a number of these already. But if I go into the details, then I'm going to create a new journal here. And this is going to be our deduction journal. And then this is going to be company-based. So it's going to be associated with the Waterdeep Trading Company, which adds this Waterdeep Trading Company to the number sequence name. And we're going to give this a constant so that we know when these are, when we're creating deduction journals as opposed to payment journals here. And I'm going to mark this as continuous. So we've done this a couple of times, and it's the same process that we go through to set these up. I'm going to save that, and then I'm going to return back to to my journal, and I'm going to find my deduction number sequence, and then just save that. So now we've got a deduction journal that's created, and this is what we're going to use for our transactions, and we've really just completed that step. So now what we want to do is we finished that. So we want to go out and say, what is the deduction journal associated with that we're going to use by default? And this brings up an interesting point that we could go out and we could have deduction. We could create additional deduction journals for different types of deductions if we want, but we're always going to have a default deduction that we're running through. So we're going to modify, even though we're working through accounts receivable, this is a sales and marketing feature that we're setting up for the deduction management. So what we're going to do is we're going to go out and set that up in the system. So what we want to do is we want to find the trade allowance management parameters. So we can access this through the menu, but if you like going through the master menu, then this is going to be in sales and marketing, and in the trade allowances, I just had to check there, and then let's see, just need to remember that setup and trade allowances. So this is going to be not there. It's going to be in setup, trade allowances, which is down here, and the trade allowance parameters. So I should have just gone out and done the search here. So, but anyway, now all we need to do here is that we've got everything configured already. So we have all of our number sequences configured because we ran the number updates. So all we're doing here for the trade allowance is selecting the deduction journal and associating that with our deduction. So we're now sort of linking the journal with our default parameters that we've got here in the trade allowances. So this is just a little bit of housekeeping that we need to do here. So this is, if we save this and return back, we've now gone out and we've set up the controls for our deduction management. So now what we want to do is we're going to set up our deduction types. So the deduction types are the reasons why the customer says that they're deducting. So this is, for example, the first one that we're going to set up is going to be for a late shipment. So it's going to be a late shipment deduction type. So if you're working with the big box retailers in Faerûn, then they want, or maybe the Majors Guild, they want the products there, be in there, and there may have been a drop in the connection, and so they want it to be there. So if we fail to deliver it on time, then they're going to deduct an amount from us. Is we're going to set these up. Now, also, we're going to create some other ones, and we're going to create other journals for the unknown, sort of like a miscellaneous account. So we don't know why they deducted. We'll create promotions, freight, and administration here within the account, and we'll find the correct account, because it's not going to be this account in the system. So let's return back to the server, and what we're going to do is we're going to set up the deduction types. So I can go out and, again, even though we're sort of treating this like an accounts receivable area, we're maintaining this in the sales and marketing area. And this will be in the trade allowances area within sales and marketing. So if I go over to here to the trade allowances, then go back here, then this is going to be over here in the trade allowances. And there's going to be a deduction type associated with this. So we're going to set up a lot of these controls here in the system. Now, what I can do is I'm going to add a what we're going to do is, let's see if I can search for extraordinary expenses. Then what we're going to do is let me just fix this over here. Just doing some live updating here on the documentation. But we've already got an account here for the deduction expense. So this is going to be just this expense account. And one of the previous sessions, what we did is we removed all the requirement for all of the deduction account details. And so I can go out and say that this is going to be for Waterdeep Trading Company, and this is going to be for operations, and let's charge this to administration. Let's see if that works. So I'm using the full account, but also if I wanted to, I could just choose the account, and that will work just fine. So now also what we want to do is we want to go out and set up the other charges. I'm just trying to copy this here. And what I can do is I'm just going to go out and it's not allowing me. So what we can do is we can create another one for unknown. This is going to be for going to the same account. We'll create promo. I'll create this as promotion instead of promo. So for the promotion, say for example, if we're giving a customer a type of a rebate where we'll say, because you met us at at the carnival, then you can take $10 off for this shipment. We can have a freight charge. And we'll also create another one, which is administration. So these are going to be all of the different types of deductions that we are going to allow, that we're going to classify our deductions with as we go through. So now that we've done this, we're rocking and rolling. So let's keep on moving on. And then the next area that we're going to set up is going to be for the deduction denial reasons. So even though a customer asks for a deduction, it doesn't mean that we're going to give it. So we want, and we want to make sure that they're correct. And say, for example, if we were offering a promotion, but the customer just took it, but they didn't have any associated paperwork with that, then we want to, we'll probably want to deny it and say, you need to get your paperwork in order before we'll allow this deduction. Or, for example, if they had a late shipment and they didn't specify why it was late or when it was late or anything else, then maybe we want to deny that as well. So we're going to create some of those, and also we're going to create some more, which is they're an invalid deduction, so they didn't request it correctly. The deduction has expired, so we had a promotion, but it was last month, it wasn't this month, and some other transactions here. So let's go back to the server and let's look at that. So what we're going to do is we want to find the denial reason codes, and that's over here in the menu under denial reason codes, or I can actually go into a search here for the denial reasons as well and get to the same screen. So this is going to be pretty easy for us to set up, and I'm just going to create a new transaction here, and this is going to be, so this is going to have incorrect paperwork, and then we'll create some more, which is the invalid deduction, the deduction and we'll spell eligibility correctly, and then no promo. And then we'll create one more, which is of no record of the request. So what we've got is we've got these reasons why we're denying the transactions in the system. So if we don't allow the deduction, then this is going to, these are the reasons why we're not allowing the deduction. Now, also what we want to do is we want to then also say if we do allow this deduction, so the customer gave us a valid deduction, we're allowing this transaction, then why are we giving this deduction? Just because we created the deduction with one type doesn't mean that's what we're going to post it to and write it off. So these the write-off reasons allow us to go out and specify where we're moving the coding of this cost to. So when we create the deduction, it gets posted to the deduction expense account. But then what we want to do is we want to say this, maybe this is a miscellaneous charge, or maybe this is a promotion. So we want to move that money amount in the ledger to another group. So what we're going to do is we're going to set that up. So we're going to finish that. I think that'll be the last thing that we do today. this sort of short session, so that we can dive more into the deductions in the next session. But what we want to do is we want to find the deduction reason code, write-off reasons, which are here, and or we can go and do a search and look for the deduction write-off reasons, and we've got no codes here. And what we're going to do is we're going to say that we're going to create one which is promotion, and this is going to be promotion deduction. And what we can do is we can say, how much do we want to write off? What's the minimum amount? We'll just allow them to write off anything. And let me see if I can do a search for promotion. And what we can do is we can say, what are we posting this expense to? So we've got expense here, or I could have charges. Let's do just to general expenses here. We probably want to have a better posting here for the promotion, or let's just do one thing. Try to get this correct. And yeah, so let's just do general. So as we go out and build more of these, then we'll probably want to expand out the ledger associated with this. So I'm going to create this. I'm going to create another one for quality. So say, for example, they deducted X amount because of a quality issue, something was broken, or some of the product didn't arrive in the correct state. I'll create another one, which is late shipment charge. And this is going to go to 6280 as well. And then I've got another one, which is an interest charge. So we can go out and create as many of these different types of deduction posting mechanisms that we may want to have inside for our write-offs. So what we're going to, we've now set up sort of on the upper limit of the live stream, because we want to keep it under 30 minutes so it's consumable for you all. So in the next episode that we're going to do, we're going to finish off this deduction module and actually finish off the accounts receivable area. And we're going to show how you go out and use these deductions in the system. So there's going to be a little bit of work that we're going and running through here, because what we need to do is we need to record the payment, we need to record the deduction, then we need to research it, we need to say whether we're accepting it or not, and move it through and then see all those transactions being cleared out in the system. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish that in the next episode. So with that said, we'll stop here. You've seen the setup of the deductions and the management of the deductions in the system, and how all of that links back to the ledger, and how we're moving the moving the journals and the allocations of those to different GL accounts. So we'll stop here. Questions, then don't hesitate to drop a note in the chat, either in YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook or wherever you're seeing this at whatever time, and we'll try to get back to you and answer the questions. If you notice anything that I missed, then also ping me as well. If anyone wants to support this project, because this is a sort of like a grassroots process as we're going through and creating this, then you can support us with through Patreon and become a benefactor, or even just a follower. Every little bit helps keep the servers up and running and everything in check. I'd like to thank all of my all the Patreon subscribers. As you'll see a list of them as we scroll out of this. But thank you very much for the support. We really appreciate that, and keeps the lights on. So with that said, let's finish off the presentation and watch out for the next live stream where we'll finish off the deduction management.